Heliartists airwolf fuselage. A very pretty looking aircraft, and one I've always wanted to build but never had an opportunity, but this is now the chance I've had. What do we start with? Well, obviously a nose section, a tail section, and the main fiberglass fuselage. This is very nicely finished by Heliartists, but unfortunately the paint can chip around the edges when you're trying to drill it. We also need mechanics, of course. This is the probably very well known belt CP from Esky. I just got a bare bones machine as I had a set of Tapro SG90 servos lying around, and thought 39 quid, add the other stuff into it, and I can get myself a flying airwolf. This is the tail. As you can see, it needed quite a bit of modification to clear the control rod. If I hadn't taken that square out, then the tail was binding. With that bit out, but of course you can see unfinished yet, unrepainted. The sliding movement is now really nice and there's no binding whatsoever, so hopefully she's going to have a nice, free, easy running tail, because obviously there's a lot more weight that she needs to turn around. Again, all standard parts. Here's the nose coming up now. You can see I have the tape there for holding the LiPo. I have this mounted fully forward, which gives me a very nice C of G. Behind the LiPo, you see we've got the receiver. This at the moment is the stock Esky receiver, and also a whole bunch of Dean's plugs. We will move on to what all these Dean plugs are all about a bit later on in the video. At the moment now the aircraft has been connected to the actual LiPo wires, but there's no power going to it yet. Here's a front shot of the whole thing. You can see that the gyro, which is a Skyer gyro, is mounted up on top of the receiver, and that seems to work pretty well in that position. You can also see I've done all the armament. There's the front alongside it, everything ready to go basically. The guns are all mounted, the nav lights are all on there, they do work except I blew it up. And here's what the final result of the aircraft is starting to look like. It's not finished yet, but you can see I've gone with black rotors, black paddles and black tail blades. My dog, of course, a puppy, she decided that she had to actually clarify this and make sure it was all well to fly, so she got her inspection, checked the whole aircraft out, particularly the armaments, to make sure all was safe, and I got a clear, so I'm now ready to fly. You can see better now the rotors and paddles. I think black suits it really quite well. These are the 315 Woodies, not the standard ones, these are the Aligns. There's the classic sail shot. It's definitely a pretty aircraft, even when it's on skids. I'm doing that because I'm a coward. Until I've learned to fly it successfully in its current mode, I'm not going to put the wheels anywhere near it, but finally it'll get retracts fitted to it as well, once I know it's safe to fly and not get crashed into the ground. A little bit more of a close-up. You can see the weapons looking quite realistic now. They're actually drilled out, so there's a hole in the front of the weapons as well. Here's a close-up from the other side. You can see I've also included a machine gun, or actually it's a cannon made out of brass and aluminum, and you can also see the port nav light just above it, as yet unfinished. The weapons again, and the first sight of what looks like an underslung pod. It's not exactly that, but it was designed to look as if it's some sort of underslung weaponry or something else. Quick view from the top showing the front antennae on there as well. It seems the colour schemes are right. The red's going to be changed to yellow and black on the covers over the weapons. It's a sight most pilots don't want to see of a Blue Wolf, particularly if those little weapons start spouting yellow flashes at you. So you need to start moving pretty fast. Okay, and now we're back to the funny armament. What in fact it is a Dean's plug, the male Dean's plug sticking down out of the aircraft. And the reason for this is, as you'll see very soon, if we just give that a quick tug, it comes out in your hand, and the whole aircraft is wired so that's on the live wire from the LiPo. There's the female it goes into. This means that you can do this very quickly and easily just by lifting one side of the aircraft, grab the male, the armaments pod, and just pull. At that point the engine will stop, the rotors will stop, everything will stop, and then you can handle the aircraft if you really need to do so in a hurry. The head, pretty standard, again standard belt CP, although you might notice there's some brass balls in there. I have done the classic flybar mod, which makes it far more stable and gives me a nice vertical bar up to the flybar on the control rods, which is way better and avoids any binding. This is a mod I've got on my other pod and boom aircraft, and it does fly extremely well with it. Here's the tail. Obviously you have to put this one on, you have to build it and assemble it using epoxy Z, but it seems to stay there pretty well. The real fin, the rudder, that was really too weak on plastic. It needs a tail skid, so I've made a 2mm aluminium skid, and I put a proper skid on the bottom of it. Antennas, why not? All real aircraft have them, I've got them. It just adds some detail to the aircraft after all, and make it a little bit different from the guy next door. Maybe I'll put a little wire across those two and make it look like a shock thing. Okay, the mechanics, as I said, belt, standard, except I've got a Helimax white main gear on there, as you can see. You can also see where the escape is. It's situated right down there underneath the main gears, and I think it'll get enough cooling, at least I hope it will. Mounting bolts there for the whole thing, 4mm hex bolts. And the end job. That's what my bluewolf, airwolf, looks like. I hope this has given people an idea of what it's all about, and maybe inspire a few people to follow us.